All right, guys. So first of all, my name is Billy Womack. I live right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm from Tampa, Florida. About 9 years ago, 9.5 years ago, I was in the same situation D and Brian and a couple of you guys sounds like we're in, where I wanted to look for something that was different in my life. Before that, I was an entrepreneur. I've owned nightclubs, restaurants, sports marketing companies, you name it, I've done it. And at that particular time, I owned a medical company, and blockchain was, or crypto was doing some big things. It was not as big as it's doing right now. I started making Bitcoin at $200. So I've been in this space for a little bit of time. I remember telling my buddies, I said, man, if Bitcoin ever hits $10,000, we're going to be rich. It's been a fun ride. But during that process, the guy that was mentoring me, who's ridiculously successful, I spent the next week in Reykjavik, Iceland, and we went up there and I started mining Bitcoin. This is actually my physical machine I got in it's heavy. Reykjavik, Iceland, 2017. It's an S5 miner, and it would plug directly into the network. But they were allowed, they would get outdated every 6 months. They took a lot of electricity, and you had to man them. So about a year and a half later, he introduced me to his mentor up in Utah. I flew up there, met him, and his name's Wright. And he was actually one of the largest miners in North America himself already. He had gotten into crypto via a Zoom with Richard Branson in 2010, I believe, 2010 or 11. So really, really, really early on. And I got involved around 2015 and 16. And then I joined forces with him in 2017, and I've been here ever since. So what's that? Yeah, maybe 7 years. I'm sorry. I've been locked arms with him. June of 2019, we launched our first blockchain. It's a one-off from here. So you're not going to see it under this umbrella. It was the first time we did a one-off, and now all of the brands we do are under our umbrella because we like to make sure that things are done the right way. But when he sat down with me, he said, we're going to launch the largest blockchain development company in the world. We're going to be a blockchain incubator because everything in the world could get better with blockchain. And he started laying out the game plan of exactly what was going to go on, how it was going to be done, and how we were going to create our own brands that created their own utility, keyword utility. If you don't know what a utility is, it means it has a use case for that token. That's the difference between a pump and dump with a lot of these things. Most of those coins out there on the market don't have any use case for them. So people buy them for hype. They buy them just because someone told them to buy them. They don't have utility. Everything that we do is utility, is in the front running. That's exactly why we created this platform. This is Connect's back office. And for the first couple of years, I never worked this side of the business. The number one question I get from a lot of people is, how did you go from where 15K to making millions of dollars? Did you have to build a big team? And the answer is absolutely not. The way this happened was June of 2019. I was in Tampa, still living in Tampa at the time. He called me and said, hey, can you be in Vegas in 3 days? I've got some guys I wanted to introduce you to. We're going to launch our first blockchain. I said, sure. Jumped on a flight. I was in Vegas, and he said, all right, we completed our software nodes. Now that's what we're going to start selling. I was like, I'm confused about the software nodes. I wasn't a gamer, and the first gaming platform we launched was called Gala Games. Some of you guys might have heard of it. And so we were there with Wright and Eric. Both of them owned the company 50-50. And Wright was my friend, so I got to meet Eric and his whole development team. During that process, they started teaching me about the software side of it instead of the hardware. Well, actually, I already learned, but I started seeing how it would work in the game. And so I was like, all right, this is cool. This is interesting, but I'm not a gamer. I'm just going to wait on the next blockchain to come through. And Warren Buffett says, find what you love to do and make it your hobby. Find what the world loves to do and make it your business. Well, I come to find out there's a lot of people that love gaming, and I didn't. So I bought 11 software nodes at that point for $1,000 each. I got them online through a virtual server. And I started getting distribution every single day. So that distribution started accumulated. As a matter of fact, I can go right here and show you guys. This is my actual account on the blockchain with Gala. May have me logged out. Let me see here.
And it's so powerful seeing that, Billy, when you showed it on the last Zoom, where you're still earning those tokens. How many years later? Like
4 years.
4 years later. Now I've talked to people that are like, man, I really want to buy one of those nodes, but they're like $100,000 now for one node that you bought 4 years ago for $1,000.
Yeah, for every 1,000 I invested on my software node in June 2019. Here we go. Not sure what's taking so long. So as you see, there's my ugly mug. And then you see, let's go to inventory here. Withdrawals. I'll take you back to whenever I was pulling. So I bought 11 software nodes. Those 11 software nodes were online for 2 years. A lot of people like, well, what's my daily interest? What's my ROI? Guys, let me explain something. That's not the way a real business is done, where you sit there and say, what's my daily ROI? That's pump and dumps. Those are those scam type things. With this, I make it very clear we're not allowed to talk about your future earnings. We cannot talk about that. You shouldn't be talking about that. It will get you in trouble. Anybody that sits there and tries to tell you they're going to make 3 or 4 or 5%, it's a scam. And we don't even, like, our legal team and our compliance team are second to none. If you sit there and start telling people these nodes are going to make you rich, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. We don't talk about stuff like that because we can only talk about what we've made in the past, not future earnings. I can show you what I have because that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to show you guys that I actually, what I did was what I said I did.
Let's see one question, Billy. Did you launch Gala Games or launched a Gala node?
No. My buddy, the guy that created all these platforms, was the owner. So I helped launch it day one.
There you go.
I'm not an owner, no. Never claimed to be an owner. So here you go. This is 2 years ago. So what happened was I was minting that reward those nodes were online for almost 2 years, because what happened 3 months after I got them online, I moved to Vegas. 3 months later, COVID hit. So we all know during COVID, nobody was working, nobody's doing anything except for our developers who was developing from home. So then I got a call about 1.5 years later, because I was manufacturing medical stuff for Johnson & Johnson down in Mexico. And I got a call saying, hey, my nodes were online. The rewards, fumbling today, apologize. The rewards were going onto exchanges. Just keep an eye out on my account. So I watched Gala go from 3 cents, 5 cents, 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents, and then up to 84 cents, all in a matter of like 4 or 5 months. So it was very, very exciting, because when I opened up my wallet, I had over $10 million liquid in that account. So I said, oh, you know what? Since I've got that, I went out and bought my dream car, a Bentley, reinvested a lot of that money. I'm building a big home right off the strip here in Las Vegas. And then you kind of see right here where I kind of pulled out. Now, this is not dollars. This is the Gala token. It was at 84 cents. So 84 times 2 million, 84 times a million, so on and so forth. And this is right here when it came out. So I want to jump back over here because I don't want to be focused on Gala. That's not what we're on here for. So I'm just trying to show you a past history. So right now, if we look at our back office here, well, if I made 10 million bucks and I only had 11 nodes and I wasn't into gaming, but these other projects, I really believe in a lot more. Of course, I went heavier on my nodes, hoping that I would get some similar results. So now I own, in this particular account, because I have one for my daughter and one for my trust, but this particular account right here has 390 nodes. It's got a 135 switch, 100 grow. Let me move this out of the way, 121 nodes or element. So, and you can kind of see here, if I click on grow, got 100 nodes right now, and they're cranking out about 290,000 rewards per day. When Brian talks to me, I said, I haven't bought a crypto coin in years and years, and I won't, and I don't need to. The reason for that, why would you buy a token when you can actually make these for free every day? What happens if you buy it? Well, I got a really good deal. Would you come in at a quarter? Well, what if it goes down to 10 or 15 cents? You haven't made a single thing. What if it sits there for a year? You've never made anything. But my software nodes, every single day, rain or shine, as long as I have them online, I get distribution 7 days a week. So these just started distribution January the 5th. So I've already got 17 million accumulated right here. I just saw it came out. the other day on an exchange for a nickel. So let's just kind of do the math. 318,203 times 0.05. That's roughly 800 grand right there. Liquid that I could take over to the exchange and do something with. All right. So that's Grow. I love that blockchain. Here's Switch, which is our banking application. These nodes have been online for quite some time. We started mining this 3 years ago now. So we had a bank that we were partnered up with that went into foreclosure. That's the only reason this particular blockchain never launched yet, but now it is. When I say launch, it's already been up and running. The getting it onto the exchange part hasn't happened until recently. It's just now started hitting exchanges. So this one's got 135 nodes, and it's still paying me 86,000 rewards per day. And Brian can kind of get into the tokenomics, but the tokenomics with each one of our blockchains, normally we have 100,000 nodes on every project, and we have 50 billion rewards on every project. Year one, just like Bitcoin has a halving event every 4 years, we have a halving event every year. So there's only 21 million Bitcoin, and but they have a halving event every 4 years. The last Bitcoin won't be produced till the year 2140. That's 120 years from now. So we have a halving event every year. So those that get started and buy your nodes early on are the ones that are going to participate and get the most distribution the first 5 years. But as you can see with Gala, I'll just give you an example so you see this. 4 years later, I'm still getting 7,275 Gala per day for free. That was 16 hours ago. Right there. And you can times that by today's price of Gala. 7,500 times 0.05621. That's about $421 a day. Still making on Gala that I can cash out today, put in my bank account today. So that's every day. Every day my distribution comes in. Some days it's more, some days a little less. Why? Because it depends on whose nodes are online. If some nodes fall offline, they're not receiving the rewards. So that's kind of how that works. Let me go here. Here's another one that one of the blockchains I absolutely love called Element. I'm not sure if you guys have seen overviews on these. This one I've got 121 nodes. This one's got about 141 million in that wallet right there. All right, so now let me talk a little bit about Grow. When people come in and they look at these blockchains, they're like, man, there's a lot of options. Which ones should I buy? If you're right here, if I click here, you guys will be able to see there's actually for your first 5 Win nodes, if you decide to buy Win, if you're going to try to be an authorized affiliate side of this, you have to buy at least 1. I tell everybody to buy 5, but we will give you a coupon for your first 5 right there. Boom. I can set this and apply, and each one of these nodes go down to 500 each. So that is a promo going. So I don't know how long it'll last. So I would take advantage of these ASAP and at least get all 5 for 25 instead of 1 for 2,000. You cannot do the affiliate side of the business unless you have at least 1 of those. But the reason I tell everybody to get 5 is because there's bonuses for every 5 you have and every 5 that you help somebody get set up with. You both bonus from that. This is the only node that has a 1-year contract. What that means is because this money right here goes back into our platform to build, excuse me, let me read. Every bit of the money that comes in off this is paid out to the distribution. So what that means is this $2,000, if you buy a node right here, 100% of that 2,000 goes back into the comp plan, period. 100%. So to make this thing keep going and going and going, we have to do this once a year, boom, to feed the that side of the business. If you don't want to refer and don't want to put people in over here, that's fine. You can still support the Win blockchain because we have our own social media site. The rewards that you get from this right here that accumulate right here in your wallet on the other side of the wallet, you're going to be able to take those and buy when those hit exchanges. You're going to be able to take those and or use those either way to buy any of these other nodes. So it's always good to have Win distribution like right here This was my last 45 days of distribution for the Win token, roughly. Oops. Where's it at? Oh, here, I hit the wrong button. 1 second. When I'm on the Zoom, it takes a lot longer. There we go. So right now, about 13 million. I've sold directly for the brands for years. I really didn't do the affiliate side. So when people ask, can you make money without building the affiliate side? The answer is yes. I made over $10 million without ever referring anybody to build the business whatsoever. And then the guys at corporate had said, Billy, you know, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. There's a lot of families you're helping. You might as well get paid for it and just buy some Win and do this other. So I just started really kind of helping people on that side of the business. So right now, these I think came out at like 5 cents last week on Pancake Swap. So that was another 800 grand right there. But here it'll show you your daily distribution, what you're ranked in the world. Well, actually, I'm number whatever. But also right here, if you click this button, it will show you right here exactly what I told you. Every time a team member operates 5 active Win Smart nodes, they give you a bonus right there for fees. Every time you operate an active 5 Win nodes, you get some points on the friend chain, which add equivalent into rewards. So all this is there. I'm not going to jump too far into that. That's not while we're on here as well, but Brian can get you on an actual Zoom that kind of covers all that kind of stuff. The last 45, if you decide you want to build the what's it called, the referral side of the business, I started working at February the 1st. Yes, I've been here 8 years. I just worked with the brands. I just sold them. I'm a business guy. I just went out, but I close a lot of big deals. My average client starts with 50,000 up to $1 million with me. So I never really kind of try to build a referral side type because I just didn't need to, didn't want to. But it became very profitable once I kind of started doing that. A lot of my friends have been doing it for years. I personally just didn't do it. So just in the last, since January 1st, I don't know how many days that is. January 1st, I started building that side of it. So I've made 90K there. So I've made about $115,000 in the last 60 days, whatever it's been, building that side of the business, not to mention the Win distribution, which was another 800 grand. So it can be very, very lucrative if you go out and share and teach and show. You guys can see here's yesterday, all the sales that came in yesterday, right here. Here was my portion of it, 200, 300, and it just keeps going and going. And I had meetings all day yesterday, so I don't think I even did a 3-way call yesterday. I did it in person. I had 5 one-on-ones. But while I was out, these are people that I don't even know getting compensation and stuff. So these add up. I'm averaging about $1,500 to $2,000 a day in commissions on that side. But I mean, you can kind of see the other day, I put in a couple of my bigger guys. Let me see here. There's so many pages. That's 312. I don't remember what day it was. So all of these, the sales I did 311. What's today's date? Today is the 19th. So you'll see all these commissions haven't even been paid yet. All of these commissions haven't even been paid yet. So that 130,000 I just showed you, I've really made, I don't know how much it's here. Well, quite a few dollars, right? So today's date is the 19th. So all of these, none of these commissions have even been paid. Let me go down to the 19th. All right, here you go. 18th. Actually, these get paid today. So from all of these start getting paid the next day. Because when you make a sale on the 9th, you get paid on the 19th, 10 days later. So none of these have been paid out yet to me. So it's very lucrative. All right. So that's the business side of that. The blockchain side of what we do. If you go right here to share, log in here to the young lady that asked me what is a node. Go right here, watch this video. Connect Explainer is right here. Listen to some of these blockchain projects that these are the projects on our platform that we develop in-house. These are really, really awesome projects. I love what we do because we know that we're helping farmers. This one's about farming. We have one in the medical space, which I helped launch from day one. I was CEO of, called Galvin. We partnered up with a little company called Siri. Most people know Siri. We have the exclusive contract with them on blockchain. So look through these. These are really cool videos that talk a little bit about what we, that particular blockchain, and all these others. So we've got some really awesome brands, and we've probably got another 10 brands that we've been working on for over a year and a half that aren't even for sale right here in your back office yet. So when you see a brand right here, that means we've been working on those brands for at least a year and a half to 2 years before it ever shows up in your back office. We are the largest blockchain development company in the world with over $1 billion in our infrastructure, free and clear. And yeah, so that's that. Brian, let's pause real quick and get a couple questions in and see if I can
I
help.
got a couple of questions that were sent to me.
Yep.
Here's a quick one. Does the Win node rewards have a halvening each year like the other nodes?
That's a great question, and I don't know the answer to that, to be honest, because that's the only one, because the Win nodes don't go up on the Win blockchain. For every one Win node sold and you're a block bot, 250,000 Win rewards go out to all the block bots. That's how you see the variations. But I need to get you set up with Trace, and Trace, the CEO, connect, and maybe he'll jump on one day and answer those. He'll tell you the Win blockchain. I just started really kind of working the Win blockchain side, 2 months ago.
And just to confirm, you do not know the promotional dates on when that applies, right? For the Win node. Okay.
I would do it sooner than later. Always. Okay. You never want to just sit back and wait and wait and wait.
And then how many Grow nodes are there total for sale? Like how many nodes are
50,000.
there? 50,000.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, 100,000. There's 100,000 nodes almost on every platform. The only one that I know that has more is this one. It's the Hyper, which is Nerd. Nerd is the company in-house, our own developers that build out all of our blockchains. And what they did was this one has 500,000 nodes. That's why you see the price a lot cheaper, but they also do a lot less distribution on every node because there's 500,000. So we do about a fifth of the distribution of most of these other ones.
When is the halvening on the Grow node?
The first year it started is every year from that day. So any of these, the day, like Grow is January the 5th. So January 5th next year, the distribution gets cut out. So whatever day we start distribution on any of these blockchains, that next year is when the halving is. Does that make sense? The anniversary of the day we started.
And so you kind of talked about this a little bit, but is the Grow Smart node listed, and what's your thoughts on it? Listed like on an exchange? You said something.
It just popped up on one last week for a nickel. Grow, in my opinion, is going to be one of our biggest blockchains that we do. Why? Because it has a lot of utility, right? We created something called Farm Tracer. You guys can go to Farm Tracer and read about it. Will, the CEO, went to college with the young man that owns Royal Ranch. Will and him were college roommates. Will went on to be really successful, still in a fitness and nutrition company. And then this guy was his college roommate. And he said, listen, so many things have changed. He's a 4th generation Royal Farm rancher. So his great grandfather started it. And so this guy said, there's so much garbage out there. I want to try to figure out a way that people can track and see what's really in their food these days. So I want to do the first traceability from farms. So they started building this out several years ago. And then they started selling it, but nobody was giving them any more money for doing all this work and trying to figure it out. They're like, well, what good does it do for us to trace it if it's not going to, we're doing all this extra work, but we're not getting paid more for our meat. And then they figured out what blockchain was and how to do that. And they partnered up with us. And now not only are now people understanding and learning a lot more about that, but we also have things on their property capturing all the carbon credits. And I think a year and a half ago, we did the first carbon credit play for them. We captured a lot of carbon credits. We tokenized them. And so the carbon credits, and they made more on the carbon credit play on their one farm than they did all the year before farming. So they went and told their neighbors, and they told their neighbors, and it kind of took off from there. But it's a great carbon credit play as well for these farmers as well. But you guys can go right here and kind of read up on some of this stuff. Will, the CEO, will do a Zoom here pretty soon. He usually jumps on there once a quarter and gives people updates and stuff like that. But this is a really, really exciting one. Not only are they doing meat, but they're doing potatoes, they're doing cannabis, everything that you can trace in the farming industry will be attached to this, or that's what they're trying to do. You get attached to our Grow blockchain. I know I had a group, the indigenous families or indigenous, I don't know how you say it properly, so don't scream at me. The indigenous Indians, or natives. There we go, something like that. Out of Canada, they have a co-op, if you will. And I got the guy that runs that whole co-op for all the farming for all the indigenous families in Canada, and now they want to come on board and continue to participate and help grow the blockchain on our side. And they will obviously have our nodes, and which they'll receive our tokens, and then as we take off, obviously we hope that has value.
Another question. So with all the tokens accumulating, what is like the best wallet outside of the wallet we have here for people to use? Like Uniswap, Exodus, MetaMask?
None.
None?
Switch.
Oh, Switch. Okay.
Why? Because it's our own exchange. So Kathy Roberts, who is the founder of Discover Bank, or excuse me, the CEO of Discover Bank and Discover Card, this is the one you want to keep all of ours, because obviously it's our brand. And it's on our platform, and we service. When you buy with your credit card, guess where it goes? To this particular, this is Switch. This is our own platform. So all those other ones, it's gonna take a while for them to be listed on there, but these will all come out and be listed. And if they're not on there right now, they're in the process of getting on our own platform as we speak. So you can store it, send it, switch it, spend it. But yeah, this is Switch.
So you can just go to switchrewardcard.com and get one set up.
That's correct. And you can go on the waiting list right here to get your debit card. Mine gets here in like a week or so. Boom, boom. Right there. So you can actually, I can go in here and log in.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense to use Switch than to use anything else,
All right. Always put your 2FA on any account you guys have. And Brian will go through that as well.
Is Switch something that you'd have a referral link to as well?
No. Nope. That's just you can't buy any nodes on here. You have to buy them through Connect right there. So right here, obviously, this is a favorite of mine too, but the distribution, the nodes are like $9,000. The distribution, you've already lost a couple years of distribution. So it's not your best bang for your buck, but it's definitely one to have in your portfolio, and it's a great one to have. But if you go here, the asset part, and you can off ramp, and you can tie this directly into your bank account right now. So you just log in, set up account, they'll KYC you, know your customer, and then you can sell off Gala, which I have. Boom, move it right here, sell it into US dollars and move it straight in my bank account. Here, 211 million. As soon as this really kind of starts taking off, this will be a big difference in this number here in 90 days. So that's really exciting. But see, we already have Green and Galvin, our health, and they're adding all the other ones currently right now. So they'll all be on here. But yeah, that's what you'd use for that. Switch is going to be great. Kathy was the #1 provider when she was with Discover Bank. They had the #1 customer service in the world for banking. Now she's brought that energy over here. We have the first ever live customer service in the world on the blockchain.
And this one's kind of off the beaten path, but what are the points of like action points? What's the point of action points? And like you said, they help more rewards in that win rewards. Is that what it is?
They reward you for taking action. I'm gonna let Trace get into all that depth for you, because that's more technical, and I want to make sure he educates you guys the right way.
And then I got some messages here in the chat I'm going to ask. Can you express how valuable our legal team is and like who they are?
Yeah, we've got and it's right here. If you guys go right here, go to under marketing tools, you open this up, you'll see a picture of our legal team. Anthony Cuccinelli, who is the Attorney General for the United States, sits on our board. We've got some very prominent people on there. We've got some guys that work for the SEC on our board. So guys, we do everything by the book, everything. And that's why there's not another company out there that makes you go through a compliance training like we do. If you click right here, Connect Pay, you'll see a big blue banner for you guys. If you haven't went through it, it makes you go, it'll say click here for Blockade. Blockade is our own blockchain under our own umbrella that oversees all the brands to make sure everything's done the right way. And they're amazing. But you won't be able to see any of this back office until you do those 2 videos and kind of go through that training. So our legal staff and our legal blockchain is amazing. Next question.
How many years has Element Node been active?
Element, it came out, let me look here, March, I want to say March the 17th last year. So we're going into our 2nd year, I believe.
Okay. And give us a little 20-second pitch on Element. What is it? Because I know it's in the back office. Go watch it.
Write this down, Brian, in your notes. March 16th distribution started. So now next time you'll know.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, let me go into Element is freaking awesome. Scott Lumo, the CEO, is a very good friend of mine. All these CEOs, I know all of them extremely well. I've worked with all of them, been here before any of them were here. So long I'm a grandfathered into this place. Buy and know, make a world a better place. There's Scott. Scott was on the Discovery Channel on a TV show, Jungle Gold. You can Google that. The reason it's going to Element nodes are so powerful because they have a lot of utility. And what they did was they went out because Scott had a lot of contacts in gold mines because that's what he did. He mined gold mines. He was on the Discovery Channel for 3 years with 3 seasons. He also worked a lot with this young man right here. You guys ever seen Hoffman Gold or Family Gold? Todd Hoffman has multiple TV shows out there. I don't even know all the ones that he does where he mines gold. You might have seen some of these got Gold Rush and Hoffman Gold and da 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 da. So Todd sits on our board of directors for Element. But what we've also started doing with all these gold mines, we've went out and said, listen, this industry is broken. If you look at the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio called Blood Diamond, it's about Leonardo going over. He went over to Africa and there was this diamond, and they were trying to smuggle diamonds in the United States or all over the place, and they had to create something called I think it's called the Kimberley Law. Well, there's no such thing with gold. So there's a lot of really unsafe mining operations going on out there. People get hurt and killed, a lot of kids getting hurt. And Scott saw that when he was mining. He said, there's got to be a better and safer way. So he said, all right, we're going to create our own safer way. So he came up with some a certification on the blockchain to give out to all these gold mines that they promised they would do the same thing. And he said, all right, I want to contract with you guys saying that we're partners in this. And in return, which we've got to have our 43-101 mining reports, all that stuff. In return, what we're going to do is we're going to give you some of our nodes for exchange for having a partnership. So he tied up about $900 billion in gold mines around the world. Now we have countries with all their mines trying to get on top of our blockchain. So this has a lot of utility. This is really cool. We've also started putting our devices on all those gold mines, capturing all the carbon credits, and then we'll digitize those onto the blockchain, and they'll have to buy our token in order to buy that carbon credit, which is huge. We're also gamifying it as well right here, where you can buy picks and shovels and NFTs in that game, place them in there. When you hit a certain level in the game, I think the last time I heard they're going to let you go out to one of the gold mines here in the United States and mine gold for the day, which is really cool. Your tokens also, when you mine them for Element, so all my tokens I have in there, I have like 150 million. If they have value, they start getting on exchanges. I can take that and buy real gold from one of the real gold mines as well, which is super cool. They also have something called the Jewelry E-Box. They've been working with Tiffany's, the largest jeweler in the United States. They've been around since I didn't know that, but they've been around since like 1840, and where you can actually buy real jewelry and they'll NFT it, put it on the blockchain before you leave, give you a NFT of your jewelry. That way, if it's lost or stolen, they can help get that out to police and different things like that. So there's so much to cover. And I'm just trying to just give you the top layer to kind of educate you guys, but I'm going to have to get onto another Zoom here in just a minute, but I can take one more.
I'll let James has his hand up. And roughly how many Element is that just rewards spitting out a day on Element?
Let's log in and look real quick. Hold on.
And James, go ahead and unmute and ask your question. And guys, I dropped a YouTube video or YouTube link for the company in there, and there's everything you want to know on every project in that.
Yeah. Let me just go right here. We can divide it out.
And I'm
All right.
staying on the Zoom after Billy leaves, but I'll stop the recording and then we'll kind of go over.
Here's element distribution. So if you take what my daily distribution is right here, what's today's date?
It is the 19th.
I'm not sure if we've had a halving yet or not. So 121. So what you do is you take your daily distribution, divide it by how many nodes I have. So I'm getting roughly 2,700 rewards per day per node right now.
And that's good.
Yeah, I don't think we've hit our distribution or no, because I saw the email come out the other day. I think it's coming up, but I don't think we've had it yet.
Go ahead, James.
How you doing, Billy? Thank you, Brian. Hey,
Welcome.
hey. So yeah, I'm looking on the CoinGecko. So Element is ELMT. Is that the ticker?
Correct.
Correct. Yeah. So it says there's total supply 645 million coins, but the max supply is 50
that
billion.
have been bridged. That have been bridged. So if you look at mine, well, if I logged into mine, when they come into you, they come in as a digital reward. You have to bridge them over to an ERC20 token. I haven't bridged hundreds of millions of mine. So that's just how many that have been bridged.
Right. Is that on Uniswap or through your switch?
No, you just do it when I get my distribution in Element on my Element platform. I have to bridge them over to an ERC20 token.
Where do you do that from though?
I just told you in your back office of the Element.
Okay, I see. So in the switch thing, good. And then you guys are saying, because I was wondering, so each of the nodes provides a different token, and then you said they're going on major exchanges. Do you guys have a list?
No, we don't give that out. The list is done by community liberty. It's not done by the brand. So what that means is we've got a third party group that helps get these on exchanges. It has nothing to do with the brand. And we're very crystal clear about this because 99% of the companies out there do it just the opposite, where the brand will push a token. Brands do this. That's exactly what the SEC looks for too. That's why XRP got in trouble. We do not do that. The brands will never talk about going on exchanges. They will never talk about the coin unless it's already been listed. Then they'll say, hey, we just saw that we've been listed, but they stay completely away from all that.
Okay. And so the switch thing, we can take our new tokens and then switch them into Bitcoin and then send that to like a ledger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Oh yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any of these, if you want to, but why would you on something that just hits the exchange? Why would you want to do that until they really kind of start taking off? But I mean, you can do it if you wanted to.
Exactly.
Bitcoin, that would be the silliest thing, not to point you out, but that would be the silliest thing, in my opinion, for anybody to do. Bitcoin has to do a 5x for you to really kind of even see anything exciting, in my opinion, where Gala, when it was at any of these brands' current price, in 6 months when we started getting them on exchanges, it jumped to 523,000%. Because at 1 penny, we're already 10x our money for us node owners that got in early on. So it doesn't have to do a lot for us to make it 20x to 50x to 100,000x on this side. Where Bitcoin, I tell people all the time, stop buying Bitcoin. Yes, you can buy some for a store of value, but this right here, I started making Bitcoin at $200. So I've been making it for a long, long time, and it's great that you have some, but it's also, I would never cash out some of this to go buy Bitcoin. You're going backwards doing it that way.
Right. I
Do you
understand.
think do you think Gala's going to hit $1? Again.
I've got too much information to give you to kind of go into that, but I'll tell you this, there's a lot of great upside with Gala, a lot of good things. They're just having some internal issues at the moment, but eventually, yes, I do.
So
Awesome.
guys,
Still great
Billy,
hold, put it that way.
we'll let Billy
Thank you.
go. We do have Billy Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. And Billy, just for the very end here, if you were to tell somebody to get started with any of those nodes, which ones would you kind of, which ones are you sharing?
Well, I'm a little different because when I sit down with people, like I had a lady call me yesterday that follows me on my Instagram. And I mean, I post a lot about all updates on Instagram all the time. And she's like, she's known me for 20 years and I haven't talked to her in 8 years. And she hits me up. She goes, all right, I'm tired of watching you eat at the nicest restaurants, fly on private jets. And when I met you 20 years ago, you weren't living that kind of lifestyle. Now you are. I just sold a house 2 years ago. I've got 150K sitting in my bank account that's not doing anything. I want to give you 75K, 100 grand. So most of the people I start working on, I get calls all the time for 50 to 200K. So the ones that I would start off with the most, number one, I'd get you 5 win nodes automatically off the top, any and all you guys, and then grow. It depends on where you start at, right? How much money you're
Let's
coming
just
in
say
with.
10,000.
Yeah, 10,000. I would load up on grow. It's your best bang for your buck, because the reason for that is because distribution just started. I would get a grow. I get 1 grow. I get 5 element, and maybe hold on. Let me look again real quick. What this other one's at? Elevate is going to be really good for those that don't know what Elevate is. Elevate. And let me push share screen real quick. This is why I don't do. I always.
And when
I'm so passionate about what I do. It's
I know.
just like,
when you
So
set
right
Elevate up, do you start earning those rewards after you create the wallet?
well, yeah, you have to set up your wallet, then you get your nodes online, you'll start creating the rewards. But
Okay.
this is what's really cool about Elevate, and it's for selling your back office. Brant, our lead developer that started this platform 9 years ago, he created our own internal trading bot, if you will, that will buy any of our for every 1 node that you buy, you can attach it to 1 brand. So if you want this to happen on 2, you have to buy 2. If you want all of our brands, you have to buy 1 per brand. But what you can do is say, hey, I want some switch, and I want switch at 20% below market value. And when the market dips, it will automatically pick it up and buy it for you. Element, the same thing. So this one could create a lot more internal value for you. So I would definitely pick up a couple of these as well.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And the Win node is an in-house node from Connect United, right?
That's correct.
And you can, if you're getting those put into your wallet, you can move those to an outside wallet and swap them on PancakeSwap now.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Okay, but obviously you probably don't want to.
I
But
wouldn't do it, but yes, you can.
right. Okay. Thank you, Billy. We'll see
You're
you.
gonna kick yourself in the butt here
I
in
know.
about 60 days if you do that. But yes, go ahead.
Thank you so
Knock
much.
yourself out.
We will see you Thursday night. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for watching this video all the way through. It was amazing. This video is going to be relevant, no matter if you watch it a few weeks later or even 2 months later. Below this video is the link to get started if you haven't got started already. If someone invited you to watch this video, someone on my team maybe, make sure you get back and use their link. But if you came through me and you haven't set up yet, the setup link is down below. I also will provide a video, a short video on how to set up your account. Now remember, it is free to set up an account, and you should take your time before you choose a node and get with me and ask me questions and set a time up, and I can help you. Definitely get into our Telegram group, because then you can message me there and I can give you the support and training. And we also provide future Zoom calls with leaders like this and other brands that are promoting their nodes on Connect United. Very important that you stay updated and stay connected. Check out the resources links down below and let me know when you get started.